Hey there, this is Old Ragnar recording a game video for the very first time. I started this idea with a specific thing in mind, not really thinking about becoming a YouTuber or any fashion gamer or anything like that, just to share some thoughts with people and see if I can find other people that likes games and has similar thoughts as me, with the main objective of potentially building a community. I'm going to tell you more details about the idea in a moment. First, I would like to explain why I'm playing this game with not too much action at the moment. The main idea was to keep it calm, so I can basically get familiar with this process of recording and speaking, and basically to hear my own thoughts mostly. So I think a calm video game like this is good for this initial exercise of this new proposal for myself, basically. Okay, yet don't get fooled by the current calm. This game in reality has some surprises and that awaits all around every corner. So at the moment I'm on a specific place where I relatively safe, low action, just moving around looking for food. So yeah, it might give the impression that it's a quite boring game, but it's not. And one of the best things that I like about these kind of games is precisely that immersive effect they have. Some people complain about games pay too much attention to the detail, but as a person that has grown through multiple generations of video games, etc., I think this kind of detail is appreciated because it really makes you feel you are inside. And for example, when you're playing games where you need to feel some fear or the terror of being hunted, being real actually adds a lot of value. Yet I understand why some people might prefer just to focus on the actual gameplay and have simple graphics with a specific color palette and keep things simple. Yeah, I see the value. Actually, I believe there is great games that follow that formula in an excellent way. For example, Warcraft 3 was one of those. They use very simple color palette and shiny colors. They didn't try to make things real back then. On the contrary, they exaggerated the physical attributes of each character. Huge arms, shoulders, big foots, etc. So the idea was not to create a game full of realism. No, it was just to make it fun. So indeed, there is a situation for each style. There is room for everything. Yet, on this specific style that I mentioned, where you are trying to survive, where you want to feel the danger of being killed, etc., I really believe in this situation, realism is the key. Okay, hearing something. It's a pig. Bye, pig. Huh. Okay. Usually that should have been easier, but it seems that focus on talking and fighting is not that easy as I thought. Okay, well, objective number 1 achieved. Play and talk at the same time. Record things, telling something and trying to defend myself. Not in the most successful way. I received a lot of damage, but okay, I think it's just a matter of practicing. Usually I react faster, but I mean, not that good with adding new activities into a known formula. Um, but okay, still, it's fine. Well, looks like our dinosaur is bleeding. You can tell that by the red drop on the right corner, and you can see that it's continuously increasing the dark gap between the inside the color that fills the drop, and it's still getting down, so it means I'm still bleeding and I need to rest to stop that bleeding. As you can see, what I did just now was drinking. It's a simple action, so I don't think it was necessary to explain a lot. So now I'm going to sit. Okay, and theoretically, while I'm sitting, the uh, bleeding should stop in any moment. It can take some time, so definitely not good to keep moving until it stops. As you can see now, the icon has switched to a healing shape, like a medical cross, and that means the bleeding is now healing. That doesn't mean I should be moving crazy at this moment. Still, if you are being hunted, this is a good moment to stand up and continue walking. For now, I'm going to stay down to improve the process a little bit and continue with the explanation that I started some moments ago. Alright, so as I say, the main point of this is not really to I don't know, explain games to you or advertise game or anything like that. No. It's more like as I told you, sharing thoughts and see if there is anyone out there thinking the same. And of course, why not explain a little bit of what is going on? That's why I did the last thing about explaining what was happening. Yeah, why not? This is one of the ideas too. So, but then, what are the main thoughts that bring me here in the first place? Why I started recording? Well, let's walk to talk about that, because we need to talk when things get serious. The thing is that there is plenty games out there that have very good themes and lore, etc. There's a lot of options. When I was a kid, there were not that many, but still, the few that were out there, we enjoyed them a lot. We used to feel the history in the game, and I don't know, make it really part of our lives. That's the reason many big franchises today get where they are, like Pokemon, etc. Because we feel the magic and participate in communities with other people, sharing things, interchanging, in this case, Pokemons, or in case of the other games, for example, RTS, like organizing battles, having guilds, or what was the other name? I forget. Well, just let's call them teams. So yeah, back then there was a lot of love for those games, and people can get connected and feel that they were inside the game. Then something happened. I found after some time of not playing a lot, growing up, and get deeper and deeper in the adult life, I found this new, well, relatively new kind of histories or let's say a drama theme about characters creating a life inside an RPG like world. For example, like a reborn, a second life history, like the person got killed and reborn in a world with the medieval theme, magic, etc. Um, Most of these histories have been popular in anime with the Isenkai kind of novel. Let me see if I can reduce the music because it's incredibly noisy. Okay. Oh, hopefully that will reduce the intensity of the music. So, as I was saying, there is some games like this. No, not games. Sorry. Animes or tales about these people that reborn in another world has a second opportunity, but this time they can um, be inside a magical world, and that premise, that idea feels interesting. Um, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's completely right in the sense that some of these isekai series have very bad values around. Maybe it's a cultural thing, but I really hate when instead of showing the nuances of really focusing on building the new life on that new world, they just focus on uh, having these things that the guy didn't have in the real and in the previous life, like was a shy kid, now has a lot of girls around, uh, and things like that. I think that's a very cheap way to develop a history, and doesn't really helps to engage with it. Maybe for kids in the high school that are passing through hard times, maybe. But once you grown up, you start thinking that yeah, those experiences were bad, etc. But whatever. I mean, life is life, and you find other things that make it more interesting. And that's precisely the kind of things that I like with these series that show more than just a kid trying to do those things that couldn't achieve in the previous one, focusing on relationships, on really surviving, how to make it for life. I mean, like business things, or how you make money, how you can. Okay, I'm hearing a noise. Okay, still wasn't prepared, but okay, pig. Okay, go and die. Okay, let's rest a little bit. Not a good idea to rest next to a dead body because that could attract some hunters or carnivorous dinosaurs. Um, Sorry for the pronunciation of some words, but I really don't care about being perfect. I think that all that matters is just open your heart with other people, and eventually things can work out. So not really uh, having a perfect pronunciation. I have developed great relationships with other people trying to communicate with less than 30% of the actual understandable language. So yeah, don't be so intense with people in a situation like this. Just feel it, feel what is going on. If you want to make a friend, develop a relationship, go ahead and don't focus on the small details. Our world is changing very fast, and now that our civilization is growing and potentially will uh, be a interstellar civilization very soon, languages are going to start changing. Things are going to get mixed and also split. What we know now today as English is no longer going to be the same English that people in 100 years is going to speak. So again, don't pay too much attention to those insignificant details and just enjoy life. All right. So next, what I was saying is that in terms of these reborn histories, I I like that they uh, focus on the actual survival aspect or socialization aspect as well. How to how to how to make a new life in reality, a new life that makes sense with goals that are good, not having 6, 5, 10 girls around you and say, oh yes, I'm a gangster. And, my God, it's very easy to do that in the real life. So not the kind of thing that I will suggest to aspire to in a second opportunity. So, for example, there are very good samples of good tales, like what is, I don't remember the English name of this one. It's Food and Dungeons or something like that. It's a group of guys that explore a dungeon, and um, they eat the monsters they hunt because they have to. They don't have money, and they need to survive. And the history is about their friendship, the things they have to do to survive, the things they have to do to help to each other, and you see the value to each individual. All of them have their moment to shine. You can get deeper into their um, background histories, their lives, etc. You develop empathy. Empathy is the key for these things. And similar to this, there are other tales that make it good. Uh, Usually, when they focus in like on, what is it word, like underdog characters, but not in the sense of the young shy guy. No. Let's get something right. That's not an underdog in this kind of histories. It actually is the recipe to be a super strong magical being, almighty, that can kill them all. So no, that's not an underdog. Um, what I'm saying is like a person that is already too old to go on adventures, or a person that has a family and has kids and struggles to go on adventures and go back, or the guy that wants to develop a trading company and struggles with bandits and need to hire other people to protect, not doing the actual actions themselves, like a one person army, rather developing social skills to have the right connections, alliances, etc. In other words, histories where you can see different people trying to make a life and playing a role and doing it well, not sacrificing the action and big events like kingdom in big battles with other kingdoms, or bounty hunters against a group of bandits, or no, all of those histories can still happen. But um, what you in reality see is how these histories develop in a way that makes sense, with a lot of participants, every people adding value into the into this big um, history. Look at that. In this game, the herbivores have this feature that they can eat from the grass when they don't find food. It only works when you are starving. So as you can see, I can continue by the grass, but the hunger meter on the right side is not going to fill up. So it's time to keep moving. All right. So what I was saying is that this the important thing here is the magic that the immersion creates, that the immersion that you can only generate through empathy, by creating an atmosphere of a civilization with individuals that matter. And there is not a lot of references in the anime world for that. Still, the ones that are out there are very good, and when you find a jewel like that, recommend to appreciate and watch it. Another tale that is on a gray line because they have an almighty character, but still tries to help with the development of the other individuals, is fearing the elf, the white elf, that a little girl that is very old, besides the appearance. And the history is about the adventures that she had with some crewmates in many years ago, and how they slowly pass away, and she has to continue living, meeting other people, etc. So even though she's really strong and can solve most of the situations by herself, sometimes he chooses not to do it, and instead gives the opportunity to other characters to develop. And that's a very what is that? Oh, yeah, I'm being attacked, guys. Okay. Okay, and now you are dead. Okay, so this is the lesson of the dinosaur game, guys. Doesn't matter if the dinosaur is very agile, don't mess with the big guy unless you have other dinos to help you, because it's very easy for a big dino to hurt a small one. I mean, if you are small and fast, just get out of there. Don't run against the wall. Hitting the wall with your head is just going to get you in the hospital in the real world, and here it's going to get you killed. So pay attention and don't do this mistake, unless of course you play to have fun and don't care about losing a couple dinos and reborn. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, that anime that I was telling almost has it, but it's like in a gray line because still rely on the presence of an almighty character, which is not super good. Um, and so on. There is many other samples that I cannot really explain right now in terms of the edges. But for example, in the edge of doing things right is the history about these guys eating in the dungeon. In the middle is fearing. Um, Still, there is another one that has a foot next to the wrong way to do it, but is kind of trying to make it to the the list of the good recommendations. It's Overlord. Overlord is an anime that is fantastic. It's very well written, has a lot of action, etc. If it were not by the fact that you know that the main character is never in danger because he's an overlord with all the powers of the world, um, uh, which is bad for the empathy, as I say, they do something right. They don't focus on him all the time. Actually, they try to give a lot of screen time to the secondary characters, and that is what makes it a great series, because they show the life around. They show how the sidekicks are trying to do their missions, how even other antagonists flying for the other side, like in this case is the good side, how they try to do something against the inevitable doom that it's in front of them, and that is good because you happen to have time to have empathy for them and put yourself on their shoes, and that is right. Of course, seeing this overlord character from time to time in the screen doing huge action battles, etc., or like playing like the uh, uh, Godfather style, Al Pacino style, saying, "Yeah, I come to kill you because you don't know who you mess with." Blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, that's a relief from sometimes. It's like the comic relief in some histories. In this case, it's not really comic. It's more about the overwhelming power relief. Uh, but they use it in a way that you don't get tired of that. It's more like the surprise, or not really surprise. You know it's going to happen, but it's the less events. Most of the events is talking about someone else, and that simple fact is what makes it a great history. So there you have three samples about different degrees of intensity in terms of committing to this kind of tale. But why am I telling you all of this? Is it because I want to recommend you watching these animes? Is there any live action thing that looks like this? Well, maybe, but not really. I don't want uh, to make you a fan of those things. I'm just telling you. I'm putting you in context of what triggered some thoughts in my brain. Watching this style of history or anime, if you wish, but I know it's bigger than anime. This genre that I'm talking about uh, is what triggered a little thought in my brain, like, what if I could be that character that arrives in a new world, and instead of just jumping into the action and being the hero, decides to open a shop, decides to become a baker, decides to become the owner of a trading company, decides to be a bodyguard to help this owner of a trading company complete dangerous uh, deliveries. How about if I want to be an aristocrat and talk with other guys to instigate for a war or something like that? I don't know. Uh, Everything, even being a magical being in the middle of the forest, waiting for someone to pass and then appear in front of them and I don't know, help them in some way and make that meeting unique, make it feel magical for both of the participants. Because the point is to have these experiences that feel um, real, with m- meeting with other people that is just minding their business, trying to do something, and also giving the possibility to create kingdoms if you can organize with other peoples, and there is possibility to do it. Why not? So where or how? What I'm talking about? Like, is this a novel? Is this a history? What you have in front of you is what it is. It's a game. I'm saying that there should be a possibility to do this through games, not necessarily as a single game that contains everything, but more like a community feeling, like a group of people with the same objective. Like, okay, and here is this survival game, let's say Ark, just for the sake of this sample, that allow us to build cities brick by brick, and hunt our food and do other stuff. Okay, that is a perfect scenario for creating this kind of experiences, immersive experiences that really feel like you are living a second life in another world and starting again. Um, Now, in case you want to enhance the experience, you could use certain games as the base point, like you use, for example, Ark to build the kingdoms. But then you say, okay, I I want to battle this other kingdom, but not necessarily at a scale that the current game allows, because if you do the battle right there, maybe it's just going to be uh, 10 guys on each side, and the battle will end relatively soon. So you say, okay, of course it's fine to have that kind of battles. All of that adds action into the formula. But let's say you want something more, and you say, okay, this kingdom is in war with that other kingdom. How can you complete that experience? Okay, let's add another game into the formula, an RTS, to resolve that conflict. So the players switch to an RTS, and they organize the battle, set the rules, and then start the battle. So this is just talking about how things can be part of a cohesive history, the same experience following a specific lore or sequence of events, like the rise of a kingdom, or this person was elected the leader, etc., etc. However, even if it's in a single game, okay, I'm all for it. If you can provide all the experiences that you're looking for through a single game, perfect. And I really think, for example, Ark Survival is one of those games. But what is the problem? People don't use them for that. I mean, the developers did a great job adding all of this huge possibility to create a new world, to create houses, castles, shops, um, farms, etc. They added almost limitless possibilities to create a new world there. But people only want to build uh, these prison-like bases with a lot of guns, then ride the enemy, eliminate the enemy, demolish everything, make their life uh, not easy, uh, and that's it. That's the game. Just build a base, ride the other base, destroy the other base, try to build your base, destroy the other base, uh, and it kills the magic a lot. I mean, people coming from shooter games maybe can like that style, but if you come from this world of RPG where you want something else, like really building a new civilization and feel part of it, that that doesn't feel right. Uh, and I believe that kind of games have the potential to be something else. Even this one that I'm playing right now, it could become something else. The difference is that in this game, the dinosaurs game, the ice, by the way, that's the name. Uh, there is no building feature, so you don't have that problem. You just kill each other. You don't really have that like feeling of a player making your life difficult because everyone has the same probabilities of get killed. All you can do is socialize with other people, make your group bigger, and then just battle with the other guys again. But every time you die, you don't keep whatever your progress was from the previous dinosaur. So that makes it really difficult for uh, other people to overwhelm you. I have seen battles like gangs fighting against other gangs and say, "Yeah, we will overtake the server and never let you play safe again." Eh, that's not possible in this game. You can do all the menaces you want, but you can always reborn as a very little dinosaur and be in the shadows for months uh, and nobody caring. So it really is not a thing here. That um, conflict of players being uh, well, not that friendly with in terms of the other people achievements. Um, but again, so going back to the sample of the arc where you can really build something, and then what does that mean? Shouldn't we touch each other? Should that be forbidden? Because by the way, such model exists. In those games, you could play what people know as PvP, like player vs player, or PvE, player vs environment, where you cannot destroy another player's structure, or in reality cannot really have a good open war with other groups in a more improvised way. Uh, it's still possible, but many things have to happen in order to achieve it. So I don't think PvE is the answer. Adding that level of restrictions is not. It's more about the community itself, like the people joining this idea should embrace it. Should really uh, want to feel part of that immerse magic. Like we can create alliances and create kingdoms because that's what we want, but we also can divide ourselves in groups having different kingdoms, then maybe have a peace time that we negotiate to trading. If we want, we can use that time to increase the economy, and maybe one of the groups is not doing well economically speaking, and then they start riding others because they become bandits. Okay, go for it. That is fine. Like creating a history that makes sense, something that you can feel that you're living there, not building bases that look like prisons, all square. No, no, no. Really trying to build kingdoms with castles, with houses, with farms, with shops, guys doing commerce, trading goods, purchasing stuff from each other. Not with real money, of course. I'm all against microtransaction, but I'm saying an in-game economy, like created by the players themselves. So that that feels just right. But the problem is that it's very hard to find a community like this because people might tell you, yes, I want to do it, but you can get three results. One is a people that is lying, they start playing innocent, but then after a while they want to destroy things because you don't restrict that. And the other possibility is that they are really just builders, like Minecraft kind of players, that all they want is build, 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 build things with no control, and things, and they don't respect the like urbanization rules of Second Life simulation, and they don't care about the natural growth of the kingdom. They just want to create buildings all over the place. The bigger, the better, because they are more like a sculpture artist than anything else. So I mean that you can do something with these players. They are, from these two samples, they are the best thing you can have, but still you need to put some rules and tell them to change their mindset instead of just building by themselves. Uh, Participate in the community and follow urbanization rules to create a history that makes sense, because the objective is not to create amazing buildings. The objective is to create buildings that are part of a history, that you feel that you live there, that your actions affect your community, that you can be a shopkeeper, that you can be a bounty hunter, that you can be a guild master, that you can be an aristocrat, that you can be a conspirationist. I don't know. That's the point. That you can create histories inside the game, and some people will say, okay, why don't you simply play a multiplayer RPG, an online multiplayer RPG, like World of Warcraft, or I don't know, other stuff like that? Well, simple, because you cannot build that history there. The history, the cities, everything is already built, and you cannot really participate. In other words, what I'm saying is that the players should replace the NPCs' roles, or maybe some AI NPCs that also you cannot really distinguish if they are humans or not. So that would be fantastic. That you have NPCs that you cannot really tell if it's an NPC or a human, because a human can choose to be a shopkeeper. A human could choose to be a farmer and ask another player for help. But an NPC can do that too, or an NPC could go on adventures too. So, and not in the assistant role. No, 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 no. Like the NPC has its own goals, and it has its own objectives, and for some of them it can create an alliance with you, and for others will go on its own, etc. Like a real AI, something that believes is living inside that world. So that will be the ideal game. But with the absence of such kind of NPCs, then what is the possibility? Well, just do it with humans. Now, it's indeed a hard truth to know that we cannot simply do that with a group of 10 friends or 5 friends. Well, at least not while the word is spread and community grows. At the beginning, it's going to be a little sad, but fortunately, some games, again taking the sample of Ark, have a potential solution that I believe can add a lot of value. Uh, the mods, the mods to enhance the NPC behavior. for example, inserting NPC that behaves like players, that do things by themselves. At the moment, there is a mod in Arc that has that idea, but you obviously can tell what who are the NPCs because they are basically pets for the player that collect resources for you and just move on repetitive patterns. So it really doesn't fulfill the role that we are trying to describe here. So, it is interesting how such things exist, because today, with the evolution of AI, could be some people that is good with huh, I didn't watch that little guy until late. Did I kill it? No. No, he's above. I don't know where the little guy is. But there is too many noises. Let's get to the light. Not that there is many light here. Okay, we killed the little guy. Again, same lesson. I told you, even in the dark, if you are just one little dinosaur, don't run against the wall. Okay, so, well, I think the point is there already. Um, there are games where you can try to get close to this, and if you get in touch with a very talented modder that knows about AI or modern AI, probably you could get something similar to this. I recently saw a blog post about some guys creating a simulation inside Minecraft, uh, making the NPCs or making them to build a civilization inside, like a kingdom, organizing tasks, etc. It was using a big AI model, like machine learning or something like that, and they achieved to do it, but they were doing all of this in a controlled environment. I think the term is like a sandbox or something like that, like an isolated place where they could execute this. The idea will be if you could bring that into a more open environment, like a server where other people can participate, and it becomes hard to distinguish who are NPCs and who are people, etc. But while we wait for the technology to get big enough to achieve such goals, the alternative is to keep looking for a community, to keep looking for people that has that similar taste. Uh, it's not common because it could be similar to find those groups that have these role play um, activities that they do in the outdoors, in the real life, and yeah, it's not a very popular activity, and in some cities in the world it's impossible to find such clubs. But I'm not trying to be that extreme. I'm not saying, hey, you need to be one of those guys. No, no, no. You could be just a person that uh, works all day, gets home tired, and just want to live somewhere else, want to feel that experience of being in another world, becoming a successful merchant. Uh, uh, um, I don't know, and hunter or assassin or whatever, but in a place that gives the freedom for people to develop such history, such civilization by themselves. The key factors here is the freedom to develop a role, not based on a skill tree. That's awful. I hate skill trees. Recipes to build things like Ark, I think that's fine. I think that's the right way to do it. Recipes to build stuff, not skill trees like, oh, if you do this, you're going to be better with the sword. If you do this, you're going to become better with the bow. No, 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 no. That's something that the person has to develop with their hands, with the joystick, with the gamepad, or the keyboard, whatever they use. So, important is to have freedom to develop the role. Second thing, freedom to build your own kingdoms. Building is a big part of it. And the third element, tension. Tension, but not overwhelming, in the sense that you know that you can be killed, that your house can be burned down, but still you know that there is other people trying to keep peace, that there is people trying to negotiate, that there is people organizing armies to protect, or civil protection, like some kind of medieval police department, or I don't know, things that really can make it feel that you are living in a new reality, not just joining a survival game when you build a house and bomb, you get a rocket in your behind part. So no, 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 no. I mean, that's funny. I'm not against that kind of game style, but it's not what I'm trying to present here. So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say bad things about people that play like that. I just think that we need to create a new place for this new way of playing. And I'm sure I should not be alone with this idea, because otherwise, why all of these animes and movies are so popular? They are basically describing the same thing over and over and over and over. So that only means something. People like that premise, they like that idea. So why there are no gamers trying to reproduce that in the gaming community? Okay, I know that many people can say, yeah, there is this server, there is that, but most likely the wrong thing you will have is that they are PvE, and that doesn't apply. As I told you, there must be tension. Without tension, you don't really have a real life sensation. Like this game, I know that I can get killed by a big dinosaur in any moment, so I'm just chilling meanwhile, trying to survive, trying to drink, trying to feed. Yeah, I can kick the ass of some little dinosaurs that attack me, but there is still the tension of being killed by something bigger. So yeah, tension is important. Don't try to suppress it. Don't try to disguise it with gifts, shiny dinosaurs, or if you join my server, you will get this box filled of magical swords, and that simply is just trying to replace the lack of something more important, and is the immersion, the experience of living in a new world. Okay, that's it. You know, uh, if one of you have feelings about this idea that I have presented today, this is my first video, so I don't expect many people watch it, or finding many people thinking same about as me, but still I'm going to keep it out there, so it can be eventually seen across the years. I don't know. how long it will take for this message to spread, but I just want to put it outside. I will try to continue talking about this idea, elaborate it a little bit more. For example, suggesting rules about how that can work, etc. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's basically it, and we'll try to continue with this sharing of my thoughts to you guys through this exercise. Hopefully, in the next iterations, you will see more action in the actual game that I'm presenting to you. At the moment, as I told you, I really couldn't do it because it's the first time that I'm talking, so it was a little risky to have a mess in front of me and organize my ideas. So, still, I hope you have enjoyed what I said, what you watch, and let's see what happens. Thank you very much. Until next time.